It just it never ends. Anyway, why don't we get to some trending headlines? What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
We got a lot to go over. Well, we have a lot in our outline, so we're gonna have to rifle through these, so nobody can get long-winded. All right? We got to spare a piece and go.
I'll just be over here.
All right. So the first one, are we talking about this later? Duggar fails to make runoff in Arkansas.
No.
All right. Duggar fails to make runoff in Arkansas. This is not the Duggar that just got convicted.
Mm-mm.
This is a different Duggar.
Mm-hmm.
Is his brother Jim Bob, or is it
Jim Bob's his father?
Jim
That's
Bob.
his father.
So Duggar fails to make runoff in Arkansas. He was running for Senate. This was a primary, and he failed to make the runoff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still hope in this world for me, based off of this headline. That
yeah, but only because his son was just convicted of pedophilia.
You think he would have won?
Counting. I wouldn't be shocked if he did win. I mean, he ran for, I believe, Congress before. And I think he was on the state level.
Yeah.
He was in something.
This is the same party that tried to elect Roy Moore and
right.
What's his face in Arizona, that sheriff that was incredibly racist.
Mm-hmm.
The same exact party. So like I when I saw that he failed to make the runoff, I was like, oh, holy shit! Like maybe there is a shred of credibility left in this party.
They don't have a problem with rapists, but they really don't like pedophiles. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's all it is.
The liberals are the pedophiles.
Right.
I would just say it's a small shred of hope, but I just wish that credibility could have been present the day that people like Marjorie Taylor, green apples are her favorite horse food, and Lauren Boebert got elected. These QAnon goons who we'll be talking about at great length on Tuesday's episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's just there's so much. This one, I think we are talking about this a little bit more in depth later on. DC sues Proud Boys over January 6th. How about this? O.J. Simpson is finally a completely free man as parole ends in Nevada. What do we think of that? O.J. going free?
He beat the rap, ultimately.
Not guilty.
Think. Mm-hmm.
I
He's
think
not
he
gonna
should.
die in prison. That sucks.
I think he should finally go and work on that book again. If I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and once he gets that published and he makes money off of that, he can just get the blade out again and do it again.
Guys, the glove didn't fit.
Kamala Harris unveils plan for electric vehicle charging network. The Biden administration released an ambitious federal strategy Monday to build 500,000 charging stations for electric vehicles across the country to bring down the cost of electric cars, with the goal of transforming the U.S.
Excellent idea. Great for jobs.
Bravo. And for the environment. And just
yes, that's the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is we just had the worst string of tornadoes to hit the Midwest, Kentucky specifically, ever, and clearly it's associated with climate change. But you know who's poo-pooing this?
Right.
The Mitch McConnell and the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Why does anybody vote for this party? Why? Why are you against this? There is no fucking reason to be against this.
Because they're told to be against it. I mean that's why. They're told to be against it, so they're against it. Look, I'm
talking about the politicians. Why are the politicians?
Because the politicians know it's easier to their people are against it because somebody told them to be against it. Some idiot in his mother's basement on Reddit or Acoon or whatever. And they listen to it. So the politicians are following that lead. I mean, that's literally what's happening on the right.
I think it's more. I think it's more. It is that you're right, but I think it's also any amount of compromise from the right at this point to be bipartisan, unless they absolutely have to, unless it's like the disaster of all disasters, and it's like not. There's no room for politics, which rarely happens. In this case, I think any compromise is viewed as weakness, and they're not going for weakness right now. They're going for strength. They're looking to wipe out any effort the Democrats are making to gain a foothold with their agenda, and that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the first time in like 10 years that a bipartisan bill has been passed, the infrastructure bill, including these charging stations, and no one can seem to celebrate it. Yet, you know what's crazy? These fucking wackadoos are out in their districts and in their states, like lifting up, even though they didn't vote for the bill, they're taking credit for it, and it's fucking working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who do you want to blame? Who do you want to blame? Do you want to blame these guys, or do you want to blame the public just as much for allowing this?
This country is stupid, Greg. It's stupid. Mm-hmm. It's 70% stupid people. They will fall for 70, anything.
But
many willingly ignorant people. That's for goddamn sure.
They will fall for anything. Did you vote for this bill? No. Well, why should I give you credit for it? Well, because I'm a Republican and not a Democrat. Okay. Okay. You won me over. That's exactly how the conversation goes. I'm convinced of it.
Well, that's what politics is like now. It just is. My team's going to beat your team, and I don't care what my team does to win, but we're going to win. And I'm going to agree with whatever my coach says. And that coach could be Marjorie Taylor Greene or Ted Cruz or Donald Trump or Mitch McConnell, but whoever their coach is that day, they're going to listen to him. Or some idiot in their basement, on Reddit.
It's really what it's coming down to for lots and lots of way too big of a number of Americans. There's no doubting it anymore.
Too. It's on the left too. If Biden says it's good, it's good. If AOC says it's good, it's good. I mean, it happens on the left too. Right. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But less. I think on the right, a lot of it.
Way less.
They vote against their own interests.
Well, Abby brought up tribalism. Who disobeys the chief?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Let me push back on that a little bit too, because the Democratic Party can't get anything done because they can't agree on anything. So it's not like everybody's agreeing with AOC. The middle left does not agree with the squad. The squad does not agree with the middle left. There's so much infighting, so it's not the same. The Republican Party rallies around one person, one idea, and that is simply to keep and do anything possible to keep power. And they will lie, cheat, and steal to do it, and they all get on the same page, and they tell that they're people, it's a great thing, and they believe it.
Yeah, but they had dissenters, Jeff. They had your Paul Ryans, your Mitt Romneys.
Paul Ryan is not a centrist.
Hold on. I didn't say it was a centrist. I said on the right, there are people that are not going to go with they wouldn't have gone with that Trump line, that Bannon line, if they didn't have to. What happened is, if AOC all of a sudden tomorrow became as powerful as Steve Bannon and Trump had become, you'd see a lot of people rallying around her too, because they have to, because they no longer have a choice, because now they just got introduced to a new meal ticket. That's what happened on the right. So you haven't seen that happen on the Democratic side yet. That doesn't mean that somebody like an AOC or one of those characters could become as big if they get the kind of movement behind them that these fuckers did.
It did happen. I think it happened with Obama in 2008. I think there was
but Obama is very centrist.
That's what I was going to say next. When he ran in 2008, he was not as centrist. He was way more progressive. He became a definite centrist. But there was a rally around him, but not in the way that, what Trump does or Bannon.
Or even Mitch McConnell. Like, he's got like a 15% approval rating, and he won his election by what, 60%? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Mm-hmm.
We're going to have Mitch McConnell till he dies.
Oh, yeah, he's going to die.
Well, and he's never going
to
die.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody could hire OJ to take out Mitch.
So I would you guys say that Benjamin Netanyahu is like, if Facebook, remember MySpace, what were they, the top 5 or top 10?
Top 8.
Top 8. Where would Benjamin Netanyahu be on Trump's top 8 on MySpace, do you think?
2.
You think 2?
I think 2.
I mean, it's Putin.
I think it would go,
it's Putin, Kim Jong-un.
Oh, I forgot about him.
And then maybe
Kanye West.
3. Kanye West. So maybe like 4. Like between 3 and 6, I think he would be there.
I would have put Netanyahu ahead of Kim Jong-un.
Really? I don't know. Well, he wrote a love letter to Kim.
Well, yeah, but he's
an actual love letter.
He was letting Netanyahu get away with breaking international law left and right for years, as all the other presidents do, because of the power that's here in this country, which is obvious, not anyone who's looking.
Well, anyway, I think he probably would have moved. I think, he would have moved Netanyahu out, because apparently this happened way back. But former President Donald Trump earlier this year lashed out with profanity at Benjamin Netanyahu for congratulating President Joe Biden on his victory in the U.S. election. That was reported by an Israeli newspaper.
Is it quoted?
This is just these are just trending headlines.
Wow.
It was reported by an Israeli newspaper.
I wonder what words he used. I'm really curious about that for some strange reason.
Like the actual quote of it would be great to see.